All right, we're live. Time to post this that we're doing this. Going live. Okay. What have you been up to today?
Worked for a little bit. Took a walk. Scanned some artwork. That's about it. Took the dog on a nice long walk because it was nice out.
That's cool.
How about yourself?
I went on my walk today. Did like a quick walk to my normal like park and back, and then I went to the store real quick. I feel like there was something that happened. I was like, oh, I should remember this for the show, but now I just can't remember nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what it was. One second. Yeah, you know what it was? Was I was going and I was buying some granola bars from the I was buying some granola bars from Trader Joe's, and when I was grabbing them, this guy next to me was like this older white dude was like, "Are those good?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're good." Like absolutely. And then I like walked away, and then I like went backward like towards where they have like some like the refrigerated shit, and I saw him looking at the burritos. And he didn't ask me, but I'm like, "Oh, those are good too, by the way." And like he kind of looked at me like, "Why are you telling me this?" And then I had that moment of like, "Was this the same guy that I talked to like a few seconds ago?" But I
Random
think it
dudes like,
was.
why
I
is
think it
this
was. He
fucking
was
guy?
just like, "What?" Okay, I didn't ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very funny though, because I had that moment of like I had to like look him at him again. Like I think this was the same guy who I literally just talked to like maybe 20 seconds ago, but I'm not sure.
I did that a couple weeks ago. I was at the grocery store and I thought I saw someone that was my friend and it was the back of their head. And I had walked up and I walked over and looked at them and that saw it wasn't them. I'm like, oh, sorry. And they looked at me like, whoa, what the fuck?
There's a dude who I see at the grocery store, or like, sorry, like maybe like a few years ago, who looked like my buddy who did like my tattoos and stuff, like so much like him that not once, not twice, but like three times I went up to him, I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And then I was like, "Oh, you're not the guy. You're not my friend. My bad." But you know
Yeah.
what? On one of those days, maybe he could be my friend. So, is it the
Yeah.
worst? Is it the worst thing to just say hi to somebody? Not really.
Nah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
Should be saying hi to more people.
absolutely. That's how you build sort of like my God.
Community.
Yeah, it's how you build a community. That's how you become, a member of the community. And that's important,
It
in
is, yeah.
today's polarized society.
I live in this type of town where there's like so few people that you're always running into people you know. So
Yeah.
like people will honk as I'm walking down the street and I won't know who it is. I'll just like go and wave because
Nice.
I'm like, it's probably somebody I know who like saw me, you know, like,
Yeah, I saw somebody who I didn't know who they were yesterday actually. Then I thought maybe it's my brother Mark. But I couldn't tell if it was him by like his car because I couldn't remember what kind of car he drove because I just don't, care. I feel like some of my both of my brothers kind of switched their cars enough that I'm like, I don't remember. Like, I think my brother Angel got a red truck. But yeah.
That's cool.
Down 5.
That's cool. What are you working on right now?
Right now nothing. I'm starting. I have a
Oh,
few things I got to do.
just in
But
general, I mean.
I'm doing a little short. I can't say for who or what, but I'm doing a little short right now. Penciling. I've been doing like I did the thumbnails, and now I've been like the thumbnails I don't think were like tight enough, and so like I'm doing too much thinking on the page, like, oh, what should this person be wearing? What should this like? How should this look? And like I know, ideally I'd like to have more of that figured out in my head before I start penciling.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah.
How about you?
I inked this cover the other day and I scanned it and I didn't like the way it looked and decided to redraw it. So I'm inking it right now. Uh,
Nice.
I'm going back to using the brush more, and I used the pen on this one, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a go with the brush again. See how I feel.
That's cool. Yeah, I have got like I've been using the same tools basically for so long that every time I like switch to something like even just like a different kind of tech pen, it's always kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It's like a little different. But lately I've been just drawing smaller. My new pages right now are like smaller than 11 by 17, but bigger by 9 by 12, which was like the last thing I did.
Like 10 by
Um
14 or something.
yeah, well, they're like manga pages. So whatever it is, it's in like, the it's like this shit. It says comic paper and it's like this is A on it. But I scanned one
Oh,
of these because they have like ruler on the side of it. So I scanned it and then I like made sure it would fit when I scaled down for the comic page. And it's pretty easy. Like the other one I remember being like, okay, I have to like be a little bit more precise with the smaller
yeah.
paper. It's not but this one like the lines are like just at a nice easy place to rule them out.
I've been thinking about just going because I usually order my paper online, but I might just stop by the college bookstore this week and see what they got in stock. Because they used to have really good paper up there, and they would even have like comic art boards, like
Yeah.
Bristol boards and stuff. But I haven't been there in years, and I know they've like gotten away from a lot of the arts and crafts stuff because of that's the first thing to go when they do budget cuts.
Yeah. My
So
my my old community college had like such a nice little art section, and like I used to always go there to get like blue color pencils because they had like the
yeah,
the Prismacolor color erase ones, and you could get like the light blue one, which was just like the perfect pencil for like uh it's this one right here. At some point I think they went out of when they went out of business or like when they not went out of business but like stopped carrying that stuff. I just bought like all of them. like like I bought like 15 or whatever. And then I may have got some like somewhere else like this one right here. This is so old because I just bought so many and I don't run through them. You can see the cull erase.
yeah,
Does that work? It's not zoom, it's not focusing
yeah. I
right.
remember those.
Well,
I used to have at least a lot of
for
those.
the people
Can't find them
watching.
anymore.
No, you can't. They stopped producing these. But I bought so many of them. Yeah, this is one from Delta because it says 99 cents on it. And
Dang.
the eraser is unusable. It's like that like hardened out, uh, you know, dried out shit.
Yeah, yeah. I never use the erasers on those anyway.
No.
It's like
They're
like
useless, but
for the lid.
the it's so good just in general.
Yeah, I haven't drawn a blue pencil in so long.
Dude, these refs are bad on this game. Like they just saw like Moody dribbled that out of bound on accident and the coach had to challenge it to get it reversed, like the Brooklyn coach. And then the same thing just happened on the other end and they had to challenge that because it's like, oh, clearly nobody touched him. He just dribbled it out of bounds. Like people are losing dribbles and they're like, oh, the guy must have touched it. Pay attention to the game.
I watched this Moist Critical video. Apparently, Casey Anthony is the influencer now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know too much about that, like the Casey Anthony story in general or her influencer activities, but maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I'll see what's going on there. Maybe I'll watch the Moist Critical video.
Yeah, I'll talk about dead kids or anything, but she killed her daughter, right?
I don't remember what her deal was.
Yeah.
I saw a video. It was like it was like, I think I told you, sometimes I'll just watch these videos that are just like mindless drama just to see like what's being done out there in the world. And this one was like this woman who I knew vaguely from Real Housewives of New York. She like was on it the first couple seasons and then she left. But she was in some controversy because she was supposed to meet this podcaster lady who works for somebody else, but her name is like Alex Earl, who I don't know. Like a young, like 20-something-year-old girl. And the other girl's like in her 40s, maybe 50s. And she was like talking about like, oh yeah, like we're supposed to meet for dinner at this nice restaurant, but she didn't show up. So she made this whole blog where she was like eating dinner alone to be like, this is what you do when this person stands you up. And then she started like milking that because like a lot of people were like laughing, like going, oh, that's so funny. So then she would just do like, get ready with me, what it's like to, get ready for a dinner with your friend who's about to stand you up. And she just keeps doing this and like talking shit about this girl. And then they eventually just like, because they weren't really mad. It was like a kayfabe beef, like completely manufactured, but people were like really, really invested in it. Like it's fucked up. You would not have dinner with this old woman that you barely know.
Mm.
It goes
Awful.
deeper. It goes deeper, but it's not that important. So it's not. What? Let me put it this way: it's not even worth bringing up for the irrelevant news section. It was that irrelevant. Influencers are crazy though, because are they influencing anybody for real? I don't think so.
Never influenced me. I've never been influenced by any of them.
Yeah.
Can't tell me otherwise.
I
I don't
believe
know.
this third quarter's still going. I thought we might be done with this game by the time we started the show, but I don't think it's going to happen.
What's Jimmy gonna do here?
If anyone's in chat, say what's up. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling this Thursday afternoon?
Is that what day it is?
I know I had to like really think about it. I know it's the day before Friday because I'm supposed to be getting that check-in on Friday, so I'm like, let's go.
You gonna treat yourself to something?
I think I might get me a little sandwich or something.
Nice.
You do that when you get like a big invoice come through, you get a little treat.
Yeah.
I might
Get
get a little
my favorite sandwich
What's your sandwich?
at this place, Market on Front Street in downtown Missoula. They have a vegan turkey or a vegan BLT, avocado BLT, and it's fucking amazing. Because I don't know how this fucking vegan bacon is so good, so crispy.
Shout out to Uncle Bubba. What's the vegan bacon made out of?
Vegetables.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Well, sometimes they're like, seitan, tempeh, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I have no idea. It doesn't say on
Doesn't
the thing.
matter.
Tell me, it just tastes good. It tastes good as
Yeah.
hell. Oh, look what I got.
What you got? Oh, the
Hi,
poppy.
Poppy.
You're always
Yeah.
raving about these poppies. I've never tried one. What flavors do they come in? Do they come in like an orange or a lime or anything like that? Something
Yeah, they have
lemony?
an orange, they have a lime. I have a strawberry lemon, and there's a blueberry one. They're all pretty
Listen,
good.
I'm next. By the time we do the show next time, I'm gonna try one of these poppies because you're always raving hella hard.
Mm. Yeah.
Uncle Bubba says, "Shout out, Poppy."
Shout out. If you're ever looking for a sponsor, Poppy.
I don't know if Ibrahim's gonna join us today. I feel like he doesn't. He's not very communicative about this, which is funny, like ironic, because he's the most like. I feel like he's the most like good about scheduling of any of us, but he's always just like, oh, maybe he's going to be here today. I don't know.
Is he R farming?
I think he is. Yeah, he's just out there acting like mysterious. Uncle Bubba says Poppy and Olipop. What's Olipop? Is that another one of these type of like non-soda sodas?
Never heard of it.
You know me, I fuck with seltzers. So like, you know.
Yeah. I'd say the Poppy's like a sweeter LaCroix. So I describe it.
They have something similar at Trader Joe's too. Oh, here we go.
What up? What up?
Oh, what up?
Microphone check. 1, 2. What is this? You know what I mean?
The 6-foot Egyptian with the fucking business.
Roughneck business.
I know, but I've changed it for me, dude. I've changed it for me, Tony.
Sorry.
What's going down?
Not too much. We were just starting the show. I mean, like we didn't start the show proper because you weren't here. We were just vamping. We're like sometimes we don't know if you're going to show up or not because I don't check in with you, and we're not like, oh, are you going to be on the show tomorrow? And then like, I'm like, I hope he is, but if not, like, I don't want to start the show exactly on 6:30 just in case you're like a minute or two late. Which, you know,
no,
but it's all good.
I messaged in the Google chat. I was like, I'll be there in a minute.
Oh, okay. I didn't see.
Being
I
honest,
didn't see it. My bad.
I just woke up.
Did you really take a nap?
I had to take a little power nap. I was
That's
like,
what's up.
I was powering through. I was pushing through, and then I was just like, sitting here at my desk, fucking fading away. I was like, I have to.
It's like a power nap 5,000.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, you Tony? Sorry, did you say power nap 5,000?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good callback.
Uncle Bubba says Olipop has 4 grams sugar, but 32% of your fiber. That's what's up.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about these fake sodas. What are you drinking right now? What's the can check over there?
It's a nectarine lemon polar.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is like Ivory. The Poppy.
The Poppy.
Strawberry lemon. Poppy.
I just got water and I'm running
fiber in it, huh?
That's dangerously low.
Yeah.
I was telling Tony he's always fucking raving about Poppy that I feel like I need to try it. But I don't like overly flavorful like carbonated beverages anymore. Well, that's not true. I'll fuck with the Pepsi Zeros every now and again.
Is it a seltzer water, the Poppy? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a soda. It's a prebiotic soda. No BS, no fake stuff. Prebiotics for your gut.
I only fuck with postbiotics, so.
I don't even fuck with Post Malone, much less postbiotics.
Oh shit, Adam Driver at this Nets game.
Yeah, 5 grams of sugar, 30 calories.
I should try that. Could use some prebiotics, to be honest.
I'm gonna see what's good. So you guys want to start the show?
Let's do it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of New Cool Meat Podcast, the number one podcast, the number one apolitical comics podcast, specifically. Number one comics podcast in general, but also we don't talk about politics here, so it's also the number one apolitical podcast.
No, you don't even know our allegiances.
If for some reason we were a political podcast, we might be high up there. Maybe not number one, though. There's a lot of comics podcasts about politics.
Yeah.
Not this one, though. I'm your host, of course, Ramon Villalobos. With me today, as always, Tony Gregori.
Howdy.
And Ibrahim Mustafa.
Hey, what's up? I don't care who buys my work.
We're apolitical.
Sneakers too, man.
The number one thing I care about, number one above anything else, the fans. That's it.
Yeah.
Totally. The customer's always right.
I have no
Tony, you said you got a
Go ahead.
You know what?
Oh, I
No,
was
go
just,
ahead.
I was just, I was
You have
saying
no
I have no scruples.
Oh,
It's all about the dollar.
that's what. It's not about the dollar. It's about the fans' entertainment.
Well, it's about the fans' dollar. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the fan. It's an entertainment business, so their entertainment equals dollars.
Right.
Yeah. What I may personally believe about the state of the world, irrelevant. I just want to make fans happy.
But, I mean,
Unrelated though.
comics shouldn't be
Oh, go ahead.
political anyway, if you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
so I think we're doing it right.
Yeah. You guys want to get into some irrelevant news stories, or you guys want to have a
Let's talk
conversation about the
politics.
subject?
Oh, go ahead.
Politics. We could
No,
talk
let's
about
do some.
politics a little bit, bro. Did you see my goat Claudia Scheinbaum today? What she got up to?
No. What was she doing? Shining? She's out there shining.
My girl Claudia. Hold on, I got this sound drop. I played it a little bit earlier. This one right here. It's a banger.
Yo, your people come up with little songs for everybody, bro. That shit's crazy.
You know what's crazy about that one is she's performing it.
That's her?
Yeah, playing the guitar.
It's like her and some friends. They're all vibing together.
Was this
the
like
reason I bring up,
like a campaign song?
yeah,
Okay.
it's like todos por Claudia.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a heater. So her deal today was she, Trump is doing this ridiculous bullshit tariff thing. They already seen the bitch in him. He's already backtracking. He already said,
Right.
"Oh, auto dealers, my bad. I forgot that you guys all funded my campaign too. We're good on, car tariffs. That's out. Even though that's like the main one, right? Then
Is that totally out, or just for the month that he was
for
backtracking?
the month. But I mean, he's not going to crash the economy. Well, he might,
Right.
but he might. I don't think he's going to crash the economy again next month just for no reason. And then so today, that was yesterday. The shit came out Tuesday. That was yesterday. Then today, he said all the USMCA trade agreement products, which is all like the majority of products. I don't think comics, unfortunately. So we're in a little bit of danger here, but everything else he gave an exemption for the month as well within the USMCA, which is most goods is like that gets exported, right? So
Right.
like most like food products and the cars are the big one. But that was for Mexico at first. And the other country in the USMCA is Canada. So he was like, okay, Canada too. But
Yeah.
The Mexican one was so funny to me because Claudia, when the trade stuff came out, the tariff shit came out Monday, like Canada was like, you slap us in the face, we're gonna go to war with you motherfuckers. It's on, like fuck you. And like granted, totally valid, right? Like their posturing on it is completely expected and understood because they've done nothing wrong and they just got hit with a 25% tariff on all goods. So like understandably pissed. But Claudia, the goat, my goat, 85% Claudia, they're calling her because that's her approval rating. She said, I'm very upset about this, and I'm gonna let everyone know what we're doing on next Sunday, right? So basically she was like, I don't think this shit's real. She said, I see the bitch in this motherfucker. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this shit Sunday, and then they agreed to this shit today. And then she said, instead of us letting them know what our retaliation tariffs will be, we're gonna have a celebration of the W that I just took. And you know what? It is what it is. Claudia, my goat, 85% Claudia. She did it again. Go
dog walked
Morena.
him.
Yeah, she. I think she saw the bitch in him, and they all did. So he's already backing down. He's already caving on these things. How long it'll last, I don't know. I hope it's they end it completely back to zero tariffs sooner than later because it's just a complete bullshit, unjustified reason. What she said was that when she talked to Trump, she just showed him some graphs to be like, look, see this big bar over here? This is how much fentanyl we were bringing in. See this tiny one down here? This is what's coming in right now. So Trump loves a big graph, needs to be told like a child that her shit's popping. And then he said, okay, you're right. My bad. He said out of great respect for Claudia, he ended the 25% for a month. So that's my goat, Claudia. That's why I'm repping the Mexico hat today. Shout out to my people. Claudia, of every government, we don't talk about politics, but of every government in the world, hers is the only one that went through COVID and didn't get completely fucked in their next election. AMLO was my previous goat. He rode that wave to success, and then he handed the fucking baton off to Claudia, my new goat, and she's just been killing it. So shout out to Mexico, shout out to Claudia, shout out to AMLO. Fuck Trump. I mean, this is apolitical, so no fuck Trump. I'm going back forward.
Well, in more news, the Democrats brought pickleball paddles to the fucking State of the Union. So that was cool.
They're resisting, bro.
They're really, yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see that corny little video they made that was like, choose your fighter?
No.
Oh my God.
No, the only thing I watched was
I did see it because my girl AOC was ready to fucking mix it up, dude.
Dude, they did like a choose your fighter, and then it like all of them like jump, to do like they got plopped into the character select screen, and then they're doing like a fighting stance video game thing, but they're all just like overdoing it. Some people didn't AOC understand the assignment at all. What's that?
Tell me AOC didn't hit it hard though.
I mean,
she really looked like a fighting game character.
I think Jasmine Crockett had the best one because she wasn't sitting there grinning like cheesing for it. She was
sometimes you got to be a happy warrior, bro.
I don't know, man. I mean, it was not a fucking move that inspired anybody. All the reactions I saw were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, why are they out here making little TikTok memes instead of
All I watched was Bernie's response, AOC's response, and Latifah Simone's response.
Yeah,
and that's my grandmother's name.
Latifah?
Yeah,
Queen.
Well, yeah, she's great. She's working families. So yeah, that's all I saw, and that's all I need to see. I don't really give a fuck what the Dems do.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not. I've already chose my fighters, and it's not most of them, so I'm not really like. I didn't watch the Trump speech. I knew it was going to be garbage. I knew it was going to be mid. I knew it was going to be boring. And it was all of those things. And I heard like 2 hours.
It was like
long.
100 minutes long. Yeah. It's fucking
I thought it was, I think it's longer. I think it was like literally 2 hours. Like if you watched everything. What's that?
I read 100 in the news story that I saw, but
the entrance.
If you factor in the credits.
Yeah. I do not have time for that. So I knew I could like scroll Blue
There's no
Sky
point
or
in listening to
X.com.
him.
Yeah, it's like we already knew he was gonna say.
Yeah.
But this is not a political this is not a political podcast. This is apolitical. We're just talking about comics. One of the big conversations that's been going on in sports lately, Ibrahim, I know you don't know this because you're not like you don't follow like NBA or NFL or stuff, but like there's something I wanted to talk about just kind of broadly, which is the concept of the GOAT conversation and the face of the league. Because they're two things that I feel like are so emblematic of the kind of times we live in, where it's like we're already just reflecting back on like people's legacies. Like we're in like the post history sort of world of like, okay, we have to contextualize how good LeBron James is only in comparison to every other basketball player ever. And there's like this real sort of yearning for somebody to be the new that guy in basketball specifically, but in football it happens too with like quarterbacks. But You know, it's funny too, because like I fall victim to it. Yesterday we were talking about, was it John Cena or The Rock?
I'm talking about both of them.
We were talking about both. Well, I came in
Yeah.
with Batista, and you were like giving me shit about it because like he had nothing to do with the conversation. I mean, in theory, I think he did have something to do with it because he's an actor.
Well, we were talking
But
about the two of them, and you just like you were like, I
I
got
gave a third
Batista. It was
option.
like, well, okay, yeah, he's a third option, I guess. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. But it was just funny because it was like, well, obviously everyone would agree that yes, he's better than both of them, but like
I don't know if
that's not
everyone
what
would
we're
agree
talking
with
about.
that.
Everyone in the chat who was
Okay,
participating in
okay.
the conversation. Yeah.
We don't know where our boy Skinner stood on that one. I think he probably
He
would
probably
agree.
would be like,
Who's that?
who's
Yeah.
that, dude? Yeah.
Oh, he's gnarly.
Oh, the Marvel guy?
Batista, man, what?
Yeah.
Between our three impressions of him, he sounded more Mexican every time. Our boy Skinner is not Mexican. But yeah, no. I find like there's a little bit of like the comparison is the thief of joy, right? So like the big conversation was, is LeBron the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because he passed like 50,000 points. Me and Tony are very firmly in the like no conversation. It's Jordan. And like
Yeah.
it's like it's like so much Jordan that the debate is kind of pointless at this time. But then Shaq came out and said Steph Curry needs to be in that GOAT conversation. And me,
You're
a
like,
Steph
now
Curry
I'm listening.
fan, yeah, like I got the Steph Curry over my shoulder, and I was like, hold on a second, maybe he does need to be in that conversation. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that Shaq is wrong. I don't like though. That's just a joke. I don't think Steph Curry is like the greatest of all time, like my greatest of all time, because I didn't really experience Jordan like that. You know, I was like a child and I couldn't really appreciate or like contextualize it. But one thing that it got me thinking about too is the GOAT conversation in comics. Like,
Yeah.
who would you guys, as like two creators, like who would you say is your GOAT? And like how do you quantify that?
That's a good question, because I do think that, bringing it back to the basketball one real quick, like there's a kind of a sliding scale, right? Like modern basketball is different than basketball was
Yes.
25, 30 years ago when Jordan was playing, right?
Absolutely.
And like the speed of the game is different, the players are different. So I don't think that there can be a single greatest of all time, in the same way that like Kirby is the GOAT, for example, right? Like he's the one everybody looks to, but like, you know,
I wouldn't say that he is my GOAT, actually.
He's
And
not
I
my
love
goat.
Kirby.
Yeah.
he's
My
not
goat
mine
is
either, but like,
yeah.
but my
You would
point
say
is
that he's
like
most people's.
he's
Yeah.
most people's, and
Yeah.
that's because a lot of those people were watching basketball in the fucking, you know, that was the shit they were reading as kids, right? So like,
Yeah.
but I mean, the game is different
He's
now.
the Kareem option here, where it's like
Yeah.
he was the guy who was popping back then, but you know, is he really the GOAT? I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, obviously his stuff still holds up today in a lot of ways, but like at the same time, you know, could a Jack Kirby in his prime today be doing the same kind of stuff because of the wage difference and the fucking grueling deadlines and the, you know, not everyone's in a bullpen like
With
smoking
people
cigars
tracing shit, people tracing
yeah, there's
photos,
digital,
and
there's fucking yeah, like there's
ripping each other
you
off.
know, the economy is different, like you know, our
Well,
wages don't match the cost of living in the same way they did back then. So yeah, there's a lot of different factors.
I would say Kirby
Uh,
is like a guy who like maybe would defy a little bit of that like that part of the argument because he was so prolific, because he was just penciling though. But
Yeah.
also like the standards were less when he was working for like backgrounds
right.
and like
Yeah.
so that part is true.
Well,
But like
also
I
like
the
nobody cared
economics
about
of it,
anatomy back then. Like
yeah.
I mean,
He
not in the
was getting
same
worse
way.
page
Like
rates than us though, for sure. Like just
what you mean, like dollar for dollar, or are you talking like with inflation comparatively, you know?
no, I think
Because I
like
mean,
back when, so like it depends on what era of Kirby because he went so long. But like when he first
I'm thinking like
started,
prime like Marvel years, like
yeah, then I
when
think he
he's
might have got
creating
worse. He
FF
might
and
have been.
stuff.
I think he was getting worse page rates than us because he was only surviving by doing like 3 books, and he was just penciling nonstop. You know what I mean? And it was not because he was making a ton of money. It was just because he just had to do it. Maybe when he got a little older, the page rates for him were better, but that was also different because everyone thought he was washed, and that was some of his best stuff actually. But
Yeah.
but I mean, if none of
Maybe
us
like
think he's what's that?
I was gonna say Frank Miller might be a good one for
That's
this example too.
that's my
Who
go.
that's who I default towards,
Yeah,
honestly,
me too.
Yeah.
Same. That's my guy. Because he
because
did his
he's
own
then
like
stuff, and he did like
yeah.
DC Marvel stuff. He elevated those properties like whenever he attacked them, and then he also like created his own stories that became iconic. And
wrote
yeah,
and drew, which is
wrote and
different
drew.
than like a
Yeah.
lot of these guys. Like Kirby wrote and drew too, but you know, his writing wasn't Frank Miller, if I'm being honest. Like, and I fuck with it. The other guy who I think is like Eisner, I think he's
Mhm.
super underrated
Yeah,
because like his shit was so sick, but like a lot of people don't read it because he didn't do Batman. He didn't do, you know,
yeah,
he didn't do like the big two shit. So like I don't think a lot of people are going to like consider him like that. You know what I mean?
yeah. They don't want to read
Sure.
comics about the depression or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean his best stuff was not the Spirit, and that's what most
No,
people know him for.
like Contract with
Um,
God, Life Force, and stuff like that. It was,
yeah, all that like later '70s shit when he decided to just do like his graphic novels. That's his best stuff. So I don't like yeah, I don't know if I would put him in there. You know, like my goat is quietly just because I think he's the best. But that's like sort of my if I think Steph Curry is the greatest of all time. He don't play defense. You know what I mean? But like he don't play
Right.
defense, but he's so good at offense that it don't
yeah,
matter.
yeah,
That would be my justification for saying Steph and quietly are the goats for me.
yeah. I mean, if you go by draftsman, I would say Quietly is better draftsman than Frank Miller, but like,
Easily, and he just can
yeah,
draw better.
yeah. But Frank, like you said earlier,
Yeah, I mean he's just like he's the perfect Jordan comp because it's the '80s too.
yeah,
I mean he was doing it when it was like there was a peak, like a fever peak, you know. Like
Yeah.
they don't make a Batman movie without somebody talking about Dark Knight Returns or like Batman Year One. You know, that was his shit.
Yeah, I think he might be the only person who's had like superhero stories that he's done adapted into film and like his original stuff like 300,
He was
yeah,
so good he
right?
got to direct a movie and it was god
yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen it. I just assume that it is because everybody
Yeah,
says
it's
so.
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
He direct Sin City 2?
No, that
No.
was Rodriguez, but he did
That was
The
Rodriguez.
Spirit. He did Will
Yeah.
Eisner's The Spirit.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought
Yeah.
he did Sin City 2 also.
No, he was
He
technically a director on Sin City 1, but it was like kind of one of those like the controller was not plugged in. But they were
Yeah.
so deferential to his books. They were like he's a
No,
director.
he's credited for co-director on the second one also.
Oh, then I imagine it's the same thing then. Where it's
Yeah.
like he's a director because the we're just copying the books so faithfully. I would imagine, you know.
yeah.
Here's what I know. He was a director on the first one, right? And when we saw The Spirit, we saw he was not a director.
Yeah.
With Peace and Love.
Obviously.
But yeah, you know, he's one of those problematic goats too because of the, you know, Holy Terror exists. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I have a goat, honestly. Like I have a favorite artist, but
who's that?
Coipel is my favorite illustrator, like comics
Okay,
illustrator, but he doesn't do enough work to really like, I don't
sure.
know. I mean,
I imagine you would have said Leon.
he's up there for sure, but there was more of a respect for his like skill, I think, than like a, I don't know. it's hard to explain because like, you know, he wasn't a writer also, and he I mean, not that Coppell is, but just in terms of like, um I don't know. Like I think that somebody who can draw anything would fit that category for me. And you know, I think JPL could, but I also think that like he wasn't suited for everything. You know, I don't know. I'd have to like really sit and think about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just as far as like stats and stuff, like you know, I think Miller's definitely the most comparable to like the Jordan thing.
Yeah, but now if we're talking face of the league.
Yeah, no, if we're talking face of the league, the idea for the face of the league stuff, Ibrahim, is like, especially in basketball, there's always one guy who's like that guy. And like right now in like, so like it would be guys that like you would know, even though you don't really like follow basketball, right? So it would be like obviously Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and then Jordan, and then Shaq and Kobe, and then LeBron, and then Steph, right? Like these are all guys that were like big figures that you kind of like have to know because they're there, right? And they're like making the biggest impact.
Would you consider Barkley one of those?
No.
Okay.
No. He never was when he was playing. He's become more of a face of the league as an announcer.
Yeah, he in his retirement he was more like, because when he was playing he was kind of disliked. It was kind of a joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people.
Well, not a joke. Not a joke.
Not a joke. But yeah, he was disliked because he was a bit of an asshole. And
he like threw somebody through a window or something, right?
Yeah, a drunk fan. But he made that whole commercial where I'm not a role model. That was like
hard.
The big deal. You know, it's like him like buy my shoes, but I'm not a role model.
You know what's hard as fuck is I knew about that specifically because of that movie, Look Who's Talking Now, with the dogs, and the little girl is such a big Charles Barkley fan, and they play that commercial, and then she goes like 1v1 versus Chuck. But yeah, I wouldn't say he was the face of the league. Like he wasn't like those other guys. Like those guys were so much bigger than life. And I feel like when we talk about comics, like Kirby was one of them. Like Kirby and Lee were definitely one. You know. Then
I'm gonna say it, but well, when we get to the '90s, you know who's.
I think there's one guy though. I don't think it was all three of them.
Well, one guy got a jeans
I think it was
commercial.
Jim Lee. I think it was Jim Lee who was like the guy. And I think he has sort of like a LeBron like legacy where it's like he's still probably the face of the league. You know what I mean? Like Hush 2 is about to come out, and that will still be the hottest comic book out. You know what I mean?
So what is Rob? Rob is like Clyde Drexler, or
Rob might have been.
I think Clyde was like respected by the league. Right?
Yeah, Rob might have been like Tony Kukoc, dude. He was on the team. You know, so he had fans, I guess, but he was not that guy.
Yeah, it was a time though.
But who would you say is like the face of the league right now? Like, if not Jim, who I think it probably is. I was kind of thinking like it might be D-Dub. It might be Danny Warren Johnson.
Dude. That's the first name that popped in my head. DWJ.
I think to us, because we're artists, but I think the Gen Pop is gonna give it
some
to
writer,
like Tom King or a writer. Yeah,
I think you might. Be, actually, that's a great point.
Like Josh Williamson or you know, somebody who they've just been. Dan
I love
Slott,
Josh, but definitely not Josh.
We know it's not Neil Gaiman. Hey.
Yikes! I think it probably is like what's his name, like Tom King or whoever.
Yeah.
Whoever that big or no Snyder.
Scott Snyder, yeah.
Because Absolute did better than anything that King has done lately. In my opinion, just like money wise and like just
Mark Millar.
I think King is more like the Steph Curry in that like he's got high scores, but he's not like as well rounded as they want the face of the league to be. Maybe
I
like
thought you meant because he's CIA. I was like, damn, don't do stuff like that, dude.
No.
Is he a landlord too? Is Tom King a landlord?
Could be. But no, I hear what you're saying. It's tough though, because like if there's gonna be like somebody in comics that moves like that, I feel like companies are so hesitant to make a person like that because those people always tend to do like what Scott Snyder does, which is like then he pops up with every company that is a startup and like does
Yeah,
one
they
book
they
there.
want their company man. They want to make you and keep you until they're done
Yeah.
with you, and then they can be like, oh, we're
Like
we're changing up the roster.
because Jeff was like that, John's and so was like Bendis and Wade. Well, not really Wade, but
Mhm.
Bendis for sure,
Mm-hmm.
Like who was more poppin' in like the mid 2000s than Bendis and Jeff Johns like at DC and Marvel?
Grant Morrison.
Nobody.
It
Yeah.
was it was just them, dude. Like they would move the books just based on their names. Didn't matter who was drawing that shit.
What about Grant Morrison?
No,
He
he
just
might be more like just, you know, he might be like just like the
he's like
true
Tim
heads know.
Duncan.
Yeah,
Like Tim
exactly.
Duncan.
Like Tim Duncan. Like if you really know, then you know. But
Yeah, the big
he
fundamental.
he's never sold books like that, even though he probably should.
Yeah, they or like that. I lose track.
Yeah, as much as I find these conversations kind of stupid, I've liked having them about comic stuff, like, that we could talk about it like this. But I
Yeah,
find them kind of dumb because it's like the same in basketball, like it's a team sport anyways. So having one guy be the guy is like, Jordan would not be the GOAT if he didn't have Scottie Pippen and Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, and you know, uh
yeah. Phil Jackson as a coach and
Phil Jackson as a coach. What's his face?
Rodman,
Rodman. Who's the guy with the fucking goggles? I'm blanking on his
Horace
name.
Grant.
Horace Grant. He was always my guy because he had goggles. I
Yeah,
thought that was cool.
I liked him too because I wore those rec specs when I played football.
Did you really?
Yeah, until I got contacts. But
It's
for one
hard.
year, I wore like those Eric Dickerson glasses.
But yeah, no, I think it's always a little bit like we live in such a individualist society that it's like there has to be one guy who's like matters the most. And it's like it really doesn't have to be that. Like that's kind of a stupid
Yeah.
like retrograde way. Like, it's fun. It's kind of fun to have the conversation because you get to like, you know, you get to debate it and have it be like just kind of a dumb, meaningless thing. And you get to like valorize somebody who you respect. But like ultimately, like what would Dark Knight Returns be without Lynn Varley? You know what I mean? What
Yeah,
would what would Quietly His work be if he didn't work with Grant Morrison on a bunch of those things? Like it's just sort of like, you know,
Yeah, I don't put a lot of merit in like giving scores and like
yeah.
parameters to creative pursuits. That's why I don't like giving movies like that's why I don't have letterbox, like
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
just feel
guess
it's kind
like
of
oh go
reductive
ahead.
sometimes to just be like that is a C minus or whatever, like
Yeah, yeah.
on to on what level? Like
I in theory I agree with you, but I'm a letterbox fiend. So
yeah.
like what I think what for me the main thing about letterbox is like even if I had it with no grades, I would still love it because I love the like the reason I write letterbox reviews and the reason why I do that stuff is cuz I love to like analyze it a little bit deeper than just like letting it wash over me. And like when
Mhm.
I do my letterbox review or when when we talk about this kind of stuff, like you're able to like appreciate a thing like Steph Curry as a basketball player more because like you looked at the numbers, you've thought about it and stuff. There's like a
Yeah.
little bit of like, attention is love kind of thing. But
hmm
I think you're ultimately right, where it's like, especially with creative stuff, like it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's so subjective. Like everybody connects with something for a different reason on a different level. Like for example, like we were talking about that movie, The Creator, the other night, right?
Right. Yeah.
And like you guys didn't like it. I
Well,
loved it. And
right.
for me, I loved it because it was about this guy who had no time or interest in this little life that he became responsible for. And like then it became his whole existence was taking care of that little life. And like that was exactly what happened with me and my dog. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, so like, regardless of like some of the fumbles of the movie, like for me, it was just like, I've not connected with something on a story level like that in a long time, you know? So
Yeah.
like, I mean, everybody gets a different prize at the bottom of the box, I think. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, I mean, like, we've talked about this before on this show, even because I remember you were in the chat. It was when we talked to Para, where I was talking about like, if all this stuff is subjective, I can have an opinion on like the creator where I'm like, I didn't really care for it. Like, it didn't do much for me, but I love hearing that about what it did for you. And I think
Yeah.
like, because we're different people, it's equally valid.
Right.
You know, I guess sometimes though, I do have less respect for somebody when they don't, or somebody's opinion when they don't think about it. You know what I mean? When they don't
Oh,
process it.
one of the things I hate the most when anybody reviews anything, whether it's a comic or a movie or an action figure, is they go, "Oh, this could have been better. That could have been
Right.
better." Like, how? Talk about how. You know, like somebody made
Yeah.
that. So like,
Or
if you're
even
gonna,
just going like, this was dumb. Like, I don't really like,
yeah, like
but
why?
why? Why?
Yeah.
You know? It's like one thing where like you know, I visit my nephew who's in high school. He's like a freshman. I'm teaching him how to write. Like I've done like twice where I've kind of like tutored him on writing essays and stuff. And I try to like get him to like, okay, give me that thesis and then tell me why. But like, don't just give me that surface level explanation. Like, I need to know more. Otherwise, this is meaningless. This is stupid. And then when you give me this thing, tell me why that relates to the initial point that you made. Because then you're like actually analyzing this and digesting this thing, you know, which is
Yeah.
so much more like, as a society, we have such little uh like media literacy, and I think part of it is that's why is because people are so conditioned to just like letting shit wash over them and not think about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's
then
just so much
ironically they'll
stuff.
do it with sports like this, and it's like they still don't think about it. You know what I mean? Like, they can give you all the points, they can give you all the stats, and they could still be like, you know, this is uh like this doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like they haven't thought about why one thing relates to the other.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of just the general conditioning we're all going through, unfortunately, you know,
Yeah.
like, and there, it's only going to get better when we abolish the Department of Education. And
Hold on, this is a
you know,
political
but we
podcast.
don't talk about politics on here, so
Yeah,
you
come on.
know.
He actually backed off of that too.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah,
They backed off of that too?
a little bit. Yeah, there was a report that they were like, oh, maybe we're
Well,
not
I
going to do
read
that.
they're not going to have the votes in Congress, so they
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
they kind
yeah,
of
that was
have
it.
to, or they have to take an L, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing is like you could sign that that executive order and be like, this is what we're doing. But like if you don't actually
doesn't mean
follow
shit.
through with it, then it ultimately means nothing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't
You
mean
know what I
anything.
mean?
Today he signed one that said that it's Women's Day or
Oh,
Women's
W.
Month, and then
Shout out to women.
also, yeah, for all the women in his administration that he's done so much for,
What?
and he's done so much for women already
Oh
in
wait, just
the
for those
last, like,
women?
just for those women mainly, but for women in general,
Wait,
they're
is
in
it
such a
Women's
better
Day for
place.
all
March has
women or
always
Women's Day
been.
for the women in his
It's a Trump speech, so what am I what am I to take from
I'm going
it?
to talk about the women. Of course, if
Yeah,
you look at them,
it's
they're good,
That's
beautiful,
fair.
all of them.
yeah, and there was a woman handing him the thing, and she was struggling to explain what it was.
Tired of women.
I can't wait, dude.
Look at it, isn't she lovely?
Yeah, she's a
I
lady.
told
Look
her
at
she's
the
gorgeous.
lady.
She's gorgeous. I told her I can't keep my hands off of her. I said, ugh.
Beta.
When is Men's Month?
March isn't March like International Women's Month? Isn't that like the whole?
I believe it is.
Probably. He probably, yeah. I mean, that's what Trump does. He like takes
It
a
was
thing that
already
already
a thing, and
exists.
he was like, "Guys, I got great news.
I'm doing
We've
it.
made it a thing."
People have been asking me for a while.
Amazing.
Finally, I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's
do it.
Women's History Month. That's what it is.
Yeah,
W for
Yeah.
women.
yeah.
I think it should be Women Presence Month.
Every day is Women's Month in my house.
It should be Women's Futures Month too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to get into some irrelevant news?
Let's
Let's do it.
Okay, here's one that I soft launched to Tony because I told him like I want to talk about this. Texas Republican. This is not political news show though, by the way. Texas Republican suggests renaming the New York Strip to the Texas Strip as measles outbreak rages. I ignore that part. The main part, the main part of this meal is the steak. Okay, the other part is the potatoes. Okay. A few weeks after President Donald Trump ordered the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, GOP lawmakers are considering other name changes. But instead of a body of land, the Republican lieutenant governor of Texas wants to rename the cut of beef known as the New York Strip to the Texas Strip in an apparent slight at liberals. In a world filled with serious issues we address every day at the Texas Capitol, the simplest resolution will help better market Texas beef, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick wrote on X on Friday, as the state faces its worst measles outbreak in 3 decades. Patrick, who holds the second highest office in Texas, has made no mention of his measles outbreak on his X page. So far, 1 child has died. But he did take time to discuss the importance of renaming the New York Strip to better reflect the Texas cattle industry. Liberal New York shouldn't get credit for our hardworking ranchers, Patrick wrote. Just because a New York restaurant named Texas Beef a New York Strip in the 19th century doesn't mean we get to keep doing that. How you guys feel, first of all? Like, none of us are meat eaters like that, right? So none of us would even...
No. Yeah.
No, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm a vegetarian. I think that's so funny, though. Like, what a long-winded explanation for... Just because they did this, and just because it was during this time, and just because it was like, that's a lot of reasons for it to be the way it is, dog.
Right.
Yeah, what's the matter? You don't like tradition? I thought they were all about tradition. And this is the most baby brain shit possible. Like,
it reeks of freedom fries shit, right? Like, remember we were mad at the French, so we were like, we're doing freedom fries now. It's the same thing. It's like, well, we don't like New York because they're liberals, so it's going to be the Texas Strip. It's like, okay, well, it's still going to be hot ass then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what? How does he feel about 9/11, you know? Because, I mean, if he hates New York so much.
Dude, I remember when I was in school for graphic design for a brief period, I needed the French curve for something we were doing, and I said to this dude, I was like, hey, will you hand me that freedom curve? And he looked at me, and the grin on his face was like, we're gonna be friends. Because you get that joke.
If you guys could rename something that, like, you just don't like the name of it to something else that, you know, for you, what would you name it?
Oh man, that's fucked up because I know I've got at least 10 of these and I can't.
You just can't think of them off top. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of in my head right away.
What's that?
I would rename the Mariana Trench to the Marinara Trench because I keep calling it that, and I figure it's just like funnier.
That sounds like a fucking like an Olive Garden special, like come in for endless soup and breadsticks and the all new, or you know, some kind of like Outback Steakhouse, the Marinara Trench Burger.
Yeah, all the sauce you can drink, I guess.
I would love to change the name of the California burrito. Have you guys ever had one of those?
No.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a burrito, but it's got like fries in it. That's the main appeal.
Okay.
And I think they're kind of bad. So I would want to name it the Southern California burrito because, you know, fuck Southern California.
Dude.
Alberto Reyes says, hey guys, what's up?
What's up, Alberto?
What's up, Alberto?
There used to be this food cart here called Big Ass Sandwich.
That's fire.
Well, wait till you hear though. This is what they would do. They would take, you know, those like sourdough, like hoagie rolls that are just dry as shit. And like the crust is like super, you know, they're just hard to bite into and stuff. Mm-hmm. This place would make a sandwich on those. And they're always like have flour on them. So you just look like fucking Tyrone Biggums after every bite, you know?
Sure.
and they would just, it would be like a big thick sandwich, and then they would just put hella French fries in it. Like that was the whole gimmick. It was just like loading it with fries. So you might as well have eaten a fucking bag of dust or like sand, like with how fucking dry that shit was. Like, even though the fries were hella greasy, it was just like, you can't get your mouth around it. You can't, you bite down and the bread doesn't break. So the whole sandwich just fucking squishes and shit falls out of it. It was such a mess, dude.
Colin says California rolls, though. That's assuming sushi, right?
Yeah,
California rolls don't have sushi in it though. They have the fake crab.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And avocado, is that what makes them a California roll? I think so. Yep. I think that's what does it. Yeah. I might.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Say I might rename the spork. I might call it a foon.
Uncle Bubba says, I saw a burrito in California that instead of fries had lumpia in it. That's insane.
Dang.
Colin says, I hate when they put fries in a gyro. Gyro?
Oh, I've never had that.
You never had a gyro?
No, I've never, not with fries in it.
Oh, okay. I say that seems impossible.
When it's just like this big open mouth fucking, yeah.
I thought one of your people invented it, right? It's a Mediterranean treat.
That's Tony's.
Wait, who's
right
did?
There.
Tony's did?
Yeah, we made that.
The Greeks.
That and democracy.
And pederasty.
And look how well both are going.
I think they were doing pederasty long before us. We just
you guys made it. You guys made it like you guys did to it what like Steph Curry did to the 3-point shot. You revolutionized the game. It was like systematic pederasty.
Space the court out.
The only people that can't. The only thing is like the Catholics came around and then did it better.
I was gonna say, yeah.
The
Catholics coming in with the.
It was like no.
The face of the league.
You guys were like Dr. J with pederasty, and then the Catholics were like Michael Jordan, where it's like you dunked and you guys made that popular, but then Jordan took it to the next level.
The next level.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah, Catholics are disgusting.
Tony's people were like the old style, and then fucking the Catholic.
We had the peach bucket
like, from downtown.
Bang!
They were the ones dribbling when it was like this, like they're dribbling this high, you know?
Yeah, and bouncing with it, like.
It was like the basketball Jones type shit, but with pedophiles.
The Catholic Church is that boom shakalaka.
So it continues. Texas produces the largest number of beef cattle in the U.S. Yet the Texas Strip is colloquially known as the New York Strip because New York City-based restaurant Delmonico's offered the short loin cut as its signature dish when it opened in 1927. Yeah, so that's why it's called that. That's why people order it, because it was popping when Delmonico's made it up, you know? Patrick said that to correct this, the Texas Senate will file a resolution to officially change the name of the New York Strip to the Texas Strip, which would ask restaurants and grocery stores to change the name on its menus. We want this to catch on across the country and around the globe, Patrick added. I got news for you. No one gives a fuck.
No one gives a fuck.
I got a hard time seeing this one catching on.
So you're telling me that they have a preferred nomenclature, a preferred way to refer to something, and they would like to ratify that into law.
Oh my God.
That's interesting.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
Am I telling you that, Ibrahim?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, do I think that? Yes, I do. That's what
I would, if that ever happened, I would be going around dead naming that shit.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be
That's always
ordering
gonna be
as
New
a
York
vegetarian. I'd be like, let me get that New York Strip.
I would say it like when those people do like try to dead name people and like misgender them too, where it's like, yeah, I would like a New York Strip. Yeah, motherfuckers just love attention, dude. I would be that guy.
Oh my God, dude. Was that Greg Abbott trying to do that?
No, it was his lieutenant governor. It was Dan Patrick, who
okay.
I thought was like hosting a sports show, but apparently
Don't
lieutenant governor Texas. Wow.
slander Dan Patrick like that.
That's fucked up. Huh? There's a new Dan Patrick and he's a dumb piece of shit.
He's the king of Sports Center. What are we doing?
We want Patrick insinuated the idea came when he met with the Texas cattle feeders and cattle raisers last week. He said multiple employees cited the New York Strip as their favorite cut of meat. Factoid, Texas has about 12.2 million heads of cattle, the most in America. By the way, like that pales in comparison to what they're doing in Brazil. Like that's where most cattle comes from, I think, right? I don't know for sure. This is just me thinking off top. But I think that's why like McDonald's gets all their cattle. It's not from Texas.
They should be happy that anyone's eating that shit, Just
they should
call
be
whatever
happy.
You want. Just buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. They should be happy that we liberals even let them have red meat still. Because if it was up to me, all that shit would be the cows would be free if it was up to me. You know what I mean?
In the street. You take your beef and your guns.
Colin asked if I've seen the Steph Curry David Wayne show. I haven't, but I heard it's funny.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, it's that one that's on Peacock where it's like his friend that he like played high school basketball with was like he was like he was really good and like now he's back and Steph Curry plays like a delusional version of himself, like or like not delusional but like a comedic version where he's just kind of like crazy,
Yeah.
But the guy who is that guy is like pretty funny too. I can't remember his name though.
I love David Wayne stuff, so I gotta check that out.
To be honest, I didn't realize that he was the one who directed it or was producing it. That makes me more interested than I was. But our friend Travis told me that he liked it, but Travis's taste is like a little suspect. So I will be checking it out. I just keep forgetting about it. Ibrahim, on that note, have you seen any of that Court of Gold movie?
Or not yet. No, I need to. I need to check
dude, you're gonna
out
love it when you check it out.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Out of curiosity, factoid. This is from Dan Patrick. Factoid: Texas has 12.2 million heads of cattle, the most in America. I met with the Texas cattle feeders and cattle raisers this week. Out of curiosity, I asked each of them their favorite cut of meat. A few of them said New York Strip, and I asked, why don't we call it the Texas Strip?
I can tell you why, because that's fucking stupid.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for addressing what really fucking matters to us. Like we always do.
They were probably saying like, hey, so these tariffs are really gonna fuck a lot of what we do here.
Yeah, like I rely on US aid to fucking
like we're heavily subsidized by the US government. Can we maybe like get some wiggle room? He's like, the Texas Strip it shall be called. When people say, I wish I could afford meat for dinner, they'll say, I wish I could afford the Texas Strip for dinner. Uncle Boba says Texas Strip is the freedom fries of 2025. Colin says freedom cattle. He also says Adam Pally is the other guy. I couldn't get into it as much, but as I wanted to, but I like Pally and Wayne. That's cool. I like Pally too.
That name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff. Meanwhile,
modeling a character and a pitch I'm developing after that guy.
Dan Patrick?
No, Adam Pally.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people in West Texas are on alert amid a measles outbreak, where at least 146 people across 9 counties have been infected with the highly contagious virus. Most of the infections are among people who are unvaccinated or whose vaccination status is unknown, according to the reports.
What did Aaron Rodgers call it? He was immunized? What's that? Immunized? Is that what Aaron Rodgers said he was?
He said no, he was
immunized. That's what he said.
He said he was like emulated or something, or not emulated.
Immunized, yeah, immunized. Like I've taken my holistic probiotic.
I can't remember what he said. I try not to think about Aaron Rodgers' activities. He said something like that though. But he basically said he wasn't vaccinated. So I think you're right. I think it was immunized. Yeah. At least 20 people have been hospitalized, and one child, an unvaccinated school-age child, has died. I'm pretty sure got me the measles vaccine when I was a baby. That's the thing they do, right? Like, in California, I think you needed to have it before you could go to public school.
Same in Florida.
I believe. I think.
It's only like
I don't know what it was
dumbasses
like
who are
here,
like,
but
I don't want the government giving my baby this measles vaccine. What if he turns up weird? And it's like, well, now he's got measles.
Yeah, I got,
you have
and also,
you have
did
Crocs
you get,
on. Like, what?
did you all got chicken pox when you were a kid, right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, isn't that the same thing? Isn't that?
No.
Uncle
No,
Bubba
I
says
don't remember how they're
MMR,
different.
measles, mumps, and rubella. That's the ones
Rubella,
that they
yeah.
need in schools. There's a song I like from the Smoking Popes called Rubella.
I saw they're having measles parties in Texas where they're like, oh, let's get our kid, so they can get immunized.
Yeah, right. They just said, let's give them measles. That way we can like handle
Yeah.
the situation like the old fashioned way. But the old
Yeah.
fashioned way often involved dying of measles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Measles were initially declared
But that's the
eliminated in
kind
the
of-
US.
Sorry,
What?
that's the kind of delusion that people, it's like, well, then if God wants to call my child back to be with him, then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the end of the line for that kind of thinking most of the time. It's insane.
It's just funny that there are people who are like, I like a common sense approach to science. And it's like, yeah, me too. That's why I listen to scientists, because they know more about science than me. You know what I mean? Like, there's this guy named Kyrie Irving, and he was an anti-vax guy. He just tore his ACL. And I was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to trust the science on this getting his surgery for his knee.
I remember you
Same
asked
with Aaron
somebody.
Rodgers.
I remember you asked somebody like who was being anti-vax. You were like, "What are you going to do if you get COVID?" And they were like, "Go to the doctor." And you were like, "So if you trust them at that point, why don't you trust what they're saying now, which is to prevent it?" And
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense that like people were like, well, no, but I need, like, obviously now I believe in science, but you didn't when you could have done the preventative thing, right?
Right.
Silly. It says measles were initially declared eliminated in the US in the year 2000 thanks to the introduction and implementation of the measles vaccine, which is effective and safe. But declining vaccination rates have contributed to breakouts in areas of the country. Recently appointed Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., who has espoused anti-vaccine beliefs, finally urged people to get their measles jab in an op-ed for Fox News on Sunday. He had previously downplayed the severity of the outbreak. They also this article doesn't mention, but they also had to rehire all of these people from the CDC who deal with this, like measles outbreaks and like that kind of shit. Like 19 people. They're like, please come back to work.
I did not know RFK did that. I did not know
he did that. Yeah.
I did not know that he came out and said, "Please get your measles shot." I know this is a non-political show, so
this is non-political, so we won't talk about what a fucking goof he is. But he did have to come back and be like, But that's the thing with all of this shit. Is like,
vaccine.
I think we talked about it a little bit, but a big point of this like Trump administration is break as much stuff as you can, and then like you could bring back the stuff you need after. It's like a real like Silicon Valley disruptor thing where it's like we're gonna cut away too much, and then we can only add stuff afterwards to but because you can never cut down to the right amount, but you can cut below it and then add back so you can hit the peak efficiency levels. But that's never right. Like,
that's
in government,
so
you want to have more. You want to have more like inefficiency because you want to have like whatchamacallit, redundancy. That way, if somebody's sick, you still have somebody who can look after the nukes or whatever.
And that's such an inefficient way to try to get efficiency going.
Right.
Well, also, it's so dangerous because like they ring the bell and then more people hear them ring it than hear them try to unring it. Like how many people have just been aware of RFK's general anti-vaxxing like notions, but then how many people actually read op-eds even on Fox News, when it's just like
I don't even know what that means. Like he did an op-ed on Fox News. Do people read the Fox News website? I only read Yahoo News. Speaking of which, here's our next story. The cocaine queen of Europe arrested after 4 years on the run.
Damn, 40 years.
4 years or 40?
Four.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
To
less impressive.
outsiders, Tania Gomez was a glamorous 33-year-old owner of a dog rescue center in Stockholm who had moved to Lanzarote for a quieter life. But to police, she was known as the cocaine queen of Europe and one of the continent's most wanted fugitives. Now, after 4 years on the run, she has been captured and is facing extradition back to her homeland on suspicion of drug trafficking and money laundering. If convicted, she faces a potential prison sentence of 14 years. Charges were brought against Gomez in 2021 after a huge drug bust led Swedish prosecutors to accuse her of smuggling consignment of cannabis into Sweden as well as handling large amounts of cocaine. In May 2020, she allegedly received 10 kilograms of cocaine in Stockholm area transported to her home where the drug was examined and tested before getting sold on. Gomez, who was included in Europol's 50 most wanted fugitives in 2023 and described as being 1.6 meters, what was it? She's 5'2", with brown eyes, had developed a seemingly innocent cover for her alleged criminal activities as a smiley Instagram influencer with a special interest in rescue dogs. She's an influencer.
I think I love her.
Yeah, you want to see what she looks like?
Tony, look her up, dude. Look her up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you will when you see what she looks like. Here she goes. Here's the cocaine queen of Europe.
Dude, scroll down though. Scroll down to the one with the
What an angel.
three dogs. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
What an angel.
Yeah.
Keep going a little bit. Yeah, this one.
Look, you saw this article? Yeah, you know about that one.
I pulled it up right now because I'm like, let's talk about though how did she actually help dogs? Because I see 3 pit bulls right here, and I have a pit bull, and these are cropped-eared dogs, which means that they were probably could have been involved in fighting because they cropped their ears for that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, if she was helping these dogs, God bless her. She's innocent.
And if she had to sell cocaine to fund their lives, I'm all for it. Like
Tania innocent.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like we stand her, but I want to see her IG. Wait. She's Mexican?
Oh shit.
Hold on. Because her Instagram is Tania Gomez. Oh wait, this is not her. This is a different Tania Gomez. Okay, hold on. Well, we love this Tania Gomez too.
God bless her.
Why did it say? Why isn't she the first one? She's the most poppin' Tania Gomez.
Swedish beauty and mafia boss, says one.
Like
article.
Meta is suppressing her algorithm.
Yeah, they're trying to keep her clout down. I wanted to see I want to see how she looks in other images. Well, anyways, we got enough images, I guess. Yeah, well, we've already declared her innocent.
Yeah, free her.
There's a lot of Tania Gomez is a popular name. None of these are the women that I'm looking for. Okay, well, hold on. Let me. Sophie says angel. Uncle says, look at that. Yeah, crazy. We don't objectify women.
She got a great ass.
Let me go back to sharing the screen. We can take in these images together. Okay. Wait, let's watch this video. Let's see what the video is. Oh, it's just her walking. Why did they post this?
I wonder why.
What does this gather? What?
Hell, and they blur the top part. Like, they blur the bottom part.
Okay. Gomez, who ran the Hundgarin dog rescue charity organization in Stockholm until she went into hiding and fled the country. And the organization still has photographs of her posing with the bulldogs and pit terriers on its Facebook page. Oh, that's what we gotta find.
Fucking clout, man. Everyone's after that clout.
Swedish prosecutors have said they suspect that her canine charity was itself a criminal operation that linked business related to stray animals and probably to a network of illegal animal ownership and transport abroad. Gomez kept a lower profile since moving to the Canary Islands, with her need to blend into her surroundings made easier by her fluency in the language. Her father is Spanish. Spain's National Police Force said they received new information about Gomez's whereabouts on February 7th and traced her to her home in Tias, a sleepy town of 21,000 inhabitants in the hills of southern Lanzarote. Gomez is being held in jail while Spain's national court decides on Sweden's extradition request. Extraditions between EU countries are virtually automatic. As well as trafficking drugs, Gomez is accused by Swedish authorities of playing a major role in a criminal organization dedicated to the laundering of the proceeds from drug sales. Specifically, prosecutors accuse Gomez of handling 1.8 million kronor. Well, I mean, like, if it's not real money, then how can they prosecute her? As part of the drug deal. And she is also alleged to have dropped off and picked up over 4 million kronor at the World Currency Exchange office in Stockholm. World Exchange, which was raided by the Swedish police in 2020, posed a normal currency exchange outlet while operating as a bank for criminal organizations to exchange money and launder funds. It's funny to imagine, like, when you hear about stuff like this, you think about like Mission Impossible and James Bond. And then you have this like beautiful influencer dog lady who's just like going in there to traffic high volumes of cocaine. That's kind of funny. Like she was on IG doing it with like a selfie stick is how I imagine it went, you know?
Yeah. Just
behind
out of frame.
removal, she had a ring light while she was doing the criminal activity. Surveillance images showed how a suspect criminal. Oh, this is all about other shit. Well, free her. Let's see if. I think I found the Facebook page for the dog.
I found one, but it's all in Swedish.
Yeah,
so there's really no.
Well,
I mean, it
doesn't know it's good.
Yeah.
Does us no good. You know what I was gonna say? These kind of dogs that she has right here, they're like pits or whatever, right? Any dog with legs that short, I feel really bad for. Like, animals weren't meant to have legs that short.
They're fast though.
I always see these ones out here,
short.
and they're like, I always see these like dogs out here, people walking them, and they just look like burdened by the weight of them on these tiny little legs. They can barely walk. They're like waddling really hard. And I see myself in them, and it makes me sad. I'm looking at the page. There's nothing really that cool here. Anyways, move on to the next story.
Yeah, there were. I saw a
her.
couple. I saw a few other pictures of dogs in her back seat that look like, you know, she was like just rescued this one, and they like, you know, with no collar or anything, and they're like licking her face, and you know, I don't know.
She has like a lot of like pictures of like the raw food that she was making they were making for the dogs too. You know, like that's nice.
Yeah.
Hey, if she was taking care of the dogs with that cocaine money,
let her
more
go.
Power to her.
Yeah. Free her. Next story. Builder jailed for killing friend in a boozy punching game. A builder killed his former workmate in an alcohol-fueled punching game over who could take the hardest blow, a court has heard. I feel like this is another one of them where it's like, let him go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you killed your friend, but you guys were basically asking to die. Like, it could have easily been this guy who got killed by getting punched in the head. He's getting in trouble for winning. Jason Thomas, 40. What's that?
That's just a crazy thing to have happen. Imagine you're just like, you and your buddy are hanging out doing something stupid, and one of you dies from that stupid thing you were doing, you know?
Yeah.
I just imagine like two people are drunk, like, bro, I bet I could fucking hit you so much harder than you could hit me, bro. It's like, dude, no way, dude.
I've seen that happen in bars, like after we close, and some of the guys I work with, they get wasted and be like, I can fucking hit you harder than you can hit me. And it's like, you're like cleaning up, and then like someone ends up hitting somebody. And
when I was in high school,
so I always be like, yeah, dude, you probably could. Good for, you know, good for you, dude.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm 100% not tougher than you. I don't want to even. I don't want to test it.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was in high school, like freshman year, I had these two friends named Jason and Floyd, and they were constantly playing this game called like Quarters, where it's not like, I think there's another version of this, which is not what they would do, but they would like flick a coin and you would have to keep flicking it until it like whoever couldn't keep it going, like spinning, then they had to get punched by the other guy. So like it's basically like the dumbest possible reason to like punch the other guy in the arm. So they were always doing it, and they would like ask me to play it, and I would be like, "Fuck no, I don't want to play that game." Like, oh, why not? It's like, because then I'll get fucking punched in the arm. Like, if I don't play, then my arms are completely punch free, you know. And they would say like, "Oh, you're a pussy, bro," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, well, at least I'm not getting punched then. Like, that's even better for me, you know." And then I remember one time they finally stopped playing because my friend went to punch the other dude in the arm and he missed and like punched him in the jaw, and like he was sitting in his desk and it went like this, like he got hit so hard it like went on its side like a 45-degree angle, and I was like, holy shit. So like I could imagine if they weren't like 13, 14-year-old boys but like 40-year-old men. Oh wait, this guy was 40, he punched a 22-year-old? That's crazy. Hold on, let's finish this story. The builder killed his former workmate in an alcohol-fueled punching game over who could take the hardest blow. Jason Thomas, 40, punched Liam Morgan Whittle twice in the head, which caused him to be knocked out and then collapsed. The 22-year-old sustained a bleed on his brain, which led to his death in March 2023. Mr. Thomas, from Leonelli, admitted to manslaughter and has been jailed for 2.5 years. Oh, well, you know, it's not that long. Swansea Crown Court heard the pair, who had previously worked for the same construction firm, had been joking and laughing for the majority of the conversation. They had been at a friend's house in Leonelli, Carmen. This might be in England.
Yeah, sounds very British.
They were in somewhere in London.
They're at the pub, mate.
What's that?
They're at the pub, mate. Ain't it?
Yeah,
I bet you I can hit you harder in the head than you can hit me.
Sound like you're from London.
They had been at a friend's house in Leonelli, Carmarthenshire, drinking alcohol and taking cocaine. A deadly mix. Prosecutor William Hughes. Was that?
It's a good time though.
Yeah. Prosecutor William Hughes, KC, said there came a point in the evening where they began a discussion which could be described as banter. Oh, you hate when banter goes out of control like that. You know, you got to keep the banter.
Sometimes
in control,
banter leads to manslaughter. You know,
it does. It's banter slaughter. That's what it should be. You know.
Sounds like something from Star Wars.
It became an increasingly aggressive argument as to who could take the punch better. Michael Davies told police he had tried to discourage the punching game, which took place at his flat. Oh, definitely England. He said Thomas, the 22-year-old, he said Thomas told the 22-year-old, "I'll hit you first," and the victim replied, "Go on then."
His last words.
Wow. Mr. Davies said neither of the punches was friendly, and told Thomas, "What have you done? There was no need for that."
Oh god.
Oh my god. Hold on. You guys see the look of the face of the guy who got hit. This is not a guy. This is the guy like me who should have been like, "Oh, you're right, mate. I'm not ready for this punch. I don't want to have a knockabout."
Oh wow. Is that the kid?
That's the kid that got punched.
RIP.
Thomas allegedly replied, "He asked for it. I told him not to mess." This was the other guy, by the way.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my god, dude.
Jesus.
That's absolutely the guy who would look at that sweet cherubic boy he murdered, dude.
Look at him, dude. He looks
That's
like
crazy.
He looks like he'd be in Hogwarts.
Yeah.
He looked like he'd be one of the guys that gets, sexually assaulted in Game of Thrones by that little guy who hangs out in that dungeon.
Reek, or is that what?
Yeah,
what it was?
I think it's Reek.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He'd be that guy.
Yeah, the other guy looks like he's from a Guy Ritchie movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
John Hipkin. Go ahead.
Oh, just that the guy the 40-year-old guy just looks like a fucking scumbag, doesn't he? Like he
This is
already
like
has like a
a-
broken nose. Look at him. Like he's
This is like like a police sketch of like Jack the Ripper, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, he's got that Artie Lang nose where it looks like it's about to cave in, you know?
Yeah. And meanwhile, this guy just being too happy.
Yeah. Look at him. Loves Ed Sheeran. Yeah.
John Hipkin.
I bet that dude was just looking to punch somebody. Like he went all day thinking like, you know, he was gonna fucking coerce somebody into some kind of game where he's gonna hit something. He just has that look to him, you know.
You could tell he was like in the corner at the flat, just like drinking his beer, like real intently staring at this guy. The other guy's just like having a good time. And then he's like, "Hey mate, I bet I could punch you out in the head, eh?"
Exactly.
Look at that big melon. RP.
The other guy's like, "Probably not, mate. I bet I could take a punch." He got
All right,
fucking
go on
killed.
then.
Go on
What?
then. All right. Motherfucker thinks he's Dan Bronson, dude.
Dude, he thinks he's Jason Statham out here. I bet
Now
I could hit you
Jason-
harder in the head than you could hit me. You know?
Now he's going to be Jason stays in prison. Am I right?
Damn, got him, dude. This motherfucker thought he was the workman or whatever. What's that movie called?
Working Man.
The working man.
Working Man. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
a working man, then I.
Done good.
Jason Thomas has struggled to cope with what he's done. His remorse is genuine. It said Jason Thomas never intended that Leah Morgan Whittle to be seriously injured, let alone die. There was a punch for punch game that the two had become involved in. I just don't buy it. I look at that guy's face and I thought he's guilty.
Yeah.
Judge Paul Thomas KC said the tragic event was fueled by your excessive alcohol and cocaine use, which caused you to lose all common sense. You were warned by someone present not to do that. He could see the risk, but you, in your substance befuddled state, could not. The judge is laying it out, bro.
Yeah.
Both punches you delivered were with great force, sufficient to knock him unconscious, and then go into cardiac arrest, from which he never recovered. Jonathan Pritchard of the Crown Prosecution Service said, regardless of what was said that night, Jason Thomas decided to use his fists and bear full responsibility for his actions. Our thoughts remain with Liam's family and friends who have suffered a terrible loss.
RIP.
This is why I don't play games like that.
Yeah. I worked in this one bar that after when we would close, they would play a rat tail game where they would get the bar rags wet, turn them into rat tails, and just like go at
Horrible.
it, like turn for turn, you know? Yeah, horrible. Horrible. One guy broke his ribs once. It's bad.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Here's
that
another.
guy's name was Mike Spicer.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hold on. We know that guy.
Wait,
Okay,
so
so
like he got whipped with the thing?
Yeah.
With the
This
and it
other guy,
broke his
Mike.
ribs?
Yeah. He sapped it so hard. Mike's this other guy. I won't say the other guy's name, but
names don't. I'm just
yeah,
asking.
it broke
like,
one of his ribs. Like broke his one
a
of his
wet
ribs.
towel, a wet bar towel broke someone's ribs. That's crazy.
He hit him with
Yeah.
extreme force, dude.
Yeah,
The
dude.
towels are no joke. All right, here's. What's
Should
that?
get him on the show to talk about it.
I don't want to make him
Go on.
relive that trauma, though.
Yeah, you're right. He's going through enough. He doesn't need that.
I had my ribs bruised once by a Ukrainian boxer.
yes.
And I can't imagine a wet towel doing worse than that. That's so crazy. I mean, I
Yeah.
believe you. I'm just saying like that. I never would have thought.
Yeah. It's a different time.
An Oklahoma toddler called 911 with a report of emergency donuts, and local police sprang in action to deliver. The Moore Police Department shared audio of a 911 call involving a toddler who was allowed to play with an old cell phone and discovered it still had emergency call enabled. The boy requested emergency donuts before telling the dispatcher to have a good day. Old cell phones may be unable to use high-speed data networks, take photos, or play music, but they can still call 911 in an emergency, the department said. As long as an old cell phone is functional, it can be used in an emergency. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's like donation programs to donate them to like women's shelters and stuff for that purpose.
In the case of the toddler named Bennett, his request for emergency donuts did not go unheeded as the police visited his home to deliver him some snacks from Dunkin'. Isn't that crazy? In Oklahoma,
Oh,
they
a
got nothing
toddler
better to
does
do.
it and it's adorable. I do it
Yeah.
and it's a fucking
Here's the toddler's call.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
What?
Hello,
What?
491.
What?
Hello?
Yes?
Do you have an emergency?
Oh, yes.
If you're the person, why don't you just hang up right there? That's crazy. The kid's not taking you serious.
that's wild. Well, they have to, you know.
Oh, a toddler hangs up, then redials. The toddler hung up, then redials here.
Hello? Donuts? I want donuts. Are you going to share your donuts?
I'm taking it money.
You going to take me to mommy now?
I won't. What is this donut? Yes. Of course.
This is really what all police stations like. If police did this on the reg, I would not say defund the police. I don't do that.
That sounds like
anyways.
that could be a cop. Oh, donuts. Oh, emergency donuts.
Hello?
What is this donut?
Can I talk to mom?
The mom's passed out. The mom is dead. The mom actually does need emergency help with this motherfucker. He's like, I want donuts.
I want some donuts. Are you going to share your donuts?
Her coworkers are looking at her like,
You said she can't just hang up right here? I feel like she can, right?
I think their directive is probably to stay on the line and try to verify that it's not actually an emergency, because a kid wouldn't necessarily know, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
What kind of donuts you have? Do you have blueberry donuts?
What?
Who the fuck has blueberry donuts?
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Real donut knowers here are not amused by this lady's fucking... That's crazy. Who would have a blueberry donut? That's disgusting.
An emergency?
Donut.
Are you going to share?
I'm not.
You're not. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Can I talk to mom?
Emergency donut.
That was the end.
I would
saying blueberry donuts are real. I'd have to see
it. Blueberry glaze. You never had a blueberry glazed donut before?
I don't think so.
Glaze. That's different. I've had that. You made it sound like there were blueberries in it.
I thought
that's a bagel at that point.
No, that's what it is. That is what it is. They're blueberry. You know what? I have had these. I have had these.
Pretty fire.
Are you talking about like blueberries inside of a donut? Or are you talking about like a blue glaze?
Yeah.
No, they're blueberries.
You
like,
said yeah to two things.
The former.
Okay.
Look, they're like a glazed donut, but with blueberries in it.
Oh yeah, I've never had that. I'd eat it. I love blueberries. I love donuts.
But they got them at Voodoo.
Two great tastes that go great together.
Uncle Bo says they are. It's a cake donut with blueberry in it, normal sugar glaze on it. Right. So there's this place in Stockton called Pedestos. It's like a grocery store for rich people, but I sometimes will get sandwiches there because they got a little deli. And they have like day old donuts that I would sometimes get. I haven't got them lately, but if they had the blueberry ones, I wouldn't bother because one time I got them and they're just like they taste kind of mid. I would almost just prefer just a straight donut with no blueberries in it,
Man,
like a straight cake donut.
You know what this does to me? I might have to go get donuts tomorrow.
Dude, I was literally thinking, well, I might have to go by Pedestos tomorrow, see if they got any day olds over there. I do have to go that way though, because I have to handle some business. I was telling Tony that I got this check coming in from an invoice. I've been waiting for it. But it says Pedestos. Sounds a bit Catholic. I know, it's like it's a few days over, and I try to be, okay about it. Like, but I'm like, it just irritates me that I'm like,
no, dude, it's so frustrating that like we have to turn shit in on time, but then the checks can be late, and that's fine,
Yeah,
I hate that shit.
Okay, so here's another story that I read the article, and I was like, I feel sympathy for this person, but then when I saw the video, when I saw what the context of it, I had no sympathy. So I want to read you guys the headline, then I want to show you what the thing is. The headline is, I need 2 seats at Disneyland rides, and this rude act from a guest made me feel like a zoo animal. So here's the thing. I'm a big guy, right? And after Kevin Smith had his incident where he got kicked off that plane, Southwest became super accommodating for if you were a bigger person, you can request 2 seats. That way you don't make the next person next to you uncomfortable, right? So like I would do that when I would fly places sometimes, and it was totally normal. Like it's not a big deal at all, right? And so that's what I thought this was, right? Like, oh, this person must be just overweight and they were made uncomfortable by somebody fat shaming them. But that's not what it is. So here's the woman. Okay. It says plus size influencer says visitors tried to secretly film her at Disneyland. So there she is. But here's why she needed 2 seats. That guy. I mean,
yeah.
that is not done without some sort of.
She needed 2 seats because she has 2 seats, dude. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, it's the only way she's gonna be able to fly. I mean, it's just logistics. She needs 2 seats.
Nah.
This is like I have no sympathy. Like this is clearly surgical, and it's fine. You're allowed to have that, but it's like if you can't do that and be like, people are kind of staring at me. This is kind of weird. It's like, no, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, remember that video of that guy who like he was like this guy in Mexico who was like tattooing his entire body to look like an alien who's getting all these crazy surgical enhancements. Imagine if he did that and was like, wow, people are like looking at me like this is so uncomfortable. Like, no, dude, you want to be looked at.
Yeah.
It says an influencer's trip to Disneyland quickly turned from magical to mortifying. Gracie Bond, a plus-size influencer, admitted to her followers on social media that
calling her a plus-size influencer.
Yeah, that's
out of pocket.
Yeah.
You don't think she's plus-sized? I feel like she's double plus-sized.
I think plus-size refers specifically to people who did not surgically become plus-size. You know what I'm saying? Or like that'd be like calling some roided out fucking freak bodybuilder plus-size.
Yeah.
I would. He's big. You know what's funny about this too? Remember in like 1999 when people were like, J-Lo has the fattest ass ever.
Dude, it was such an insult to have a big butt back then. Or like prior to that,
people kind of liked it when J-Lo came around. She kind of made she kind of did for fat asses what Greek people did for pederasty. But the people have taken it to new heights since then. And this woman
definitely
is
new
doing
wits
too much.
Here.
2 new wits is crazy, dude.
I feel like if she's paying for 2 seats, give her 2 seats, right? I mean,
Mamma mia!
No, isn't the issue though that they were like, you have to pay for 2 seats, and she was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's go on with it.
You can afford that ass. You can afford 2 seats. It
says she admitted to followers on social media that she requires 2 seats on theme park rides and that park goers during a recent Disneyland experience wouldn't stop staring at her. The 27-year-old wanted to have a fun day out with her family, but that changed when she caught people doing double takes at her curvy body. Is it just me, or are people not used to seeing big girls like me at Disneyland? The pan and
Oh
whatever
my
the model said.
god! Stop it! What? No, dude.
That's crazy,
No, she's
dude.
got like
That's
a flat stomach, dude. That's crazy. You're talking about.
You think she rides the teacups?
Look at her, dude.
Jesus Christ.
What's
Well, I
crazy
think
about
she
this video
has
is they're
teacups,
intentionally
bro.
filming it to see the reactions of people behind her.
Yes.
Dude, that's the other thing.
Uh,
She's like, "Oh, I'm just here with my family. Why don't people leave me alone?" It's like, all right, okay. Was that?
I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Today I came to Disney with my family, ready to have fun, she said. But the second I arrived, the nightmare started. Bond shared that the parents in the park started to record her, so she decided to, quote, change the game. Oh, like the Greeks with pederasty. If they were going to record me, I was going to record them, she said. Bond's glasses had a camera lens in the frame, and she gave them to her brother to capture the ordeal. I couldn't believe my eyes. People were shocked to see my... Wait, this footage was from those like Ray-Ban smart glasses? Kind of a good advertisement for those. This is incredible quality. Like, that's kind of crazy.
This is her whole thing. I'm looking it up, and like there's a Cyber Cuba article. Model Gracie Bond continues her crusade against airlines. Buying 2 seats does not solve my problem.
Yeah, you might have
So
to
she-
get 3. That's crazy.
They got her. There's one of her working in a food truck, or like what looks to be a food truck, at least in like a small galley kitchen, and she
So
barely
wait,
fits.
she's just like...
I mean,
So wait, she's just like one of these people that are like kind of ambulance chasers that are like going to places where her, comedically fat ass could not fit, to be like, why doesn't my fat ass fit here? That's
I
kind of
think
crazy.
so.
That's kind of insane, dude. She has like Yokozuna's ass, but with like a different person's upper body. She's like a kit bashed action figure.
This is like it's like a case of dysmorphia, right? I mean, like when you
It has to be. This is not.
I mean,
This is
it looks like she's like that's like she has a horse bottom. Like it's.
I feel bad doing
It's
this
centaur.
during women's
Sorry. Yeah, it's
appreciation
women's
month,
appreciation.
as
Should be
Trump
doing
called it. Trump said it's Women's
Right.
Appreciation Month, and we're kind of
Yeah.
being misogynist to this woman.
Yeah,
Kinda-
it's
kinda
crazy.
Kind of an L take for us.
Yeah. Hope she finds peace.
Oh my god, dude.
I
Was that? Oh, he's talking.
I
to
think
someone.
this is exactly what she's doing all this for. Is
The attention that
Yeah.
we're giving her.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, here's my plan. I'm going to get a hilarious shaped ass, go to Disneyland, so that the New Cool Meat podcast can talk about me on their show. Like the
Well, not us
biggest-
specifically, obviously. But
No, I
in
know.
general,
I'm just
like,
kidding. But I think she had us in mind. Obviously,
Definitely guys like us.
we're growing Our podcast is getting bigger and bigger every episode. She definitely thought of us.
Well, dare to be great. She's really.
Despite the negativity and nightmare situation, Bond didn't let it kill her magic. I had so much fun. I needed 2 seats on the Slinky Dog ride, but that just means double the fun. But like, however, people in the comments weren't as spirited.
Bro, some kid's not gonna be able to get on a ride because of that. It's like.
What, you're not naturally big. That's the issue. One person wrote. No one wants to see that at a theme park with children. See, that's going too far.
That's a little
yeah.
That's going too far. Girl, you know why? Someone chimed in. You thrive off the attention, a user said. Look at this, man. Our crumb would blush. This lady back here, like, she's like body goals. That's how I'm.
So she dropped her bag. She's just
Hey, go.
It's not because you're plus size. It's because your body has been modified and looks ridiculous to most people. One commenter noted. They are looking because it's not natural. Someone else wrote. She's not serious. Another user commented. Wait,
People who comment on
Barrymore's
this,
project
and I
really
know
happened?
that we're not much better than this in this moment, but like, it's like they're always missing the the whole purpose of what these people do is to get attention, and they're sitting there like thinking that, oh, I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna give them the old what for, I'm gonna tell them why. It's like they fucking know why.
Yeah.
They're doing it so that you do this.
Yeah.
This is the thing too. Like, I'm not judging her for altering her body and however she wants to feel like
No,
natural to her. But
do
you then
but
can't be
don't.
like,
Yeah,
you then can't be like, why are people looking at me all the time? You know why. That's literally the whole point of this video. That's the everything. That's why you did this. And apparently, like Ibrahim said, like that's her entire gimmick. Okay, here's the video.
My family ready to have fun. But the second I arrived, the nightmare started. Some parents started recording. So I decided to change the if they were gonna record.
This is basically everything we said. I don't need to watch the video. One last story for you guys here. Another influencer who's doing too much. OnlyFans model says that she and her mom were impregnated by the same man. This is disturbing stuff. Like, I don't know why you would volunteer this information to anybody, but this news is only raising eyebrows. In an announcement that many social media users are calling a hoax, an OnlyFans model named Jade, aka Jade Teen, said her and her mom Danny were impregnated by YouTuber Nick Yardy 2 weeks apart. It's amazing to be able to share our love and inspire others to try out like an unconventional relationship, she shared in February in a February 18th video with Danny and Nick. I don't think any of us have ever been happier. According to Jade, she's expecting a baby girl named Nicole, while Danny is pregnant with a baby boy who they will call Nick Jr. This is like why I think it would be sick if China like won and like American culture like took some humility. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I just be humble. Like, you can't say America is great when this is like a thing that's happening right now.
Yeah, I
For
feel like
real,
this is
yeah.
like this is a good way to cut up the cost of living. You know, you just all stick together.
What do you mean?
Well, with like inflation coming and Trump's economy,
I'm
that's going to
saying
crush us
if
all.
you have a sister aunt,
Yeah, and you're all living
your
together.
family's
footing the
that much
bills.
more closely knit, and you just have a unit that's
I feel like though that
Roommates.
you're adding one too much baby to the equation to like balance the budget there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm
no,
definitely not for
but the point
reproducing.
is that the baby daddy takes care of both. So instead of having
What if he
two
only had to
men
take care of
in
one
this
though?
scenario,
His resources are being divided by two.
that's true. It's almost like the math isn't checking out here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it
Well,
doesn't
see,
make
if he
sense.
does like a Mr. Mom situation, and the two women go to work, and he stays home and takes care of the babies, then you have a situation where you have two incomes coming in. I'm just trying to figure out the math.
Yeah. This is going to be her first granddaughter, Jade said of Danny, a self-described life coach who also models on OnlyFans under the alias Danny Swings. Her baby is going to be my little sibling. Danny added that both have a little over a month left before giving birth, saying, "We're so excited for what the future holds for our two little babies, but not everyone is buying their narrative. After all, Nick stars in comedy skits with OnlyFans models. I call BS on this one YouTuber wrote, while another one accused Nick, who has over 3.4 million subscribers on his channel, of doing anything to go viral. Commenters also noted how a hollow sound could be heard when Danny pats her stomach in the video. Wait, she's not even pregnant?
Oh my God, why would it lie?
That's crazy. Others pointed out that Jade does not appear to have a bump outside of this video or other social media posts. Wait a minute, so this is a complete hoax? Oh, that's disturbing. I don't like this story at all.
It's fake news, man.
Yeah.
Can't believe in anything anymore.
irrelevant news has really fallen off with this story. The rest of them were good though.
Yeah.
Well, that was irrelevant news. Went out on a whim. I wish I had a better one for us. Oh, you know what? No, I do. Hold on, I got one more story for us.
Let's do it.
This is an animal story. No more influencers because I'm tired of being lied to. Megalodon goldfish found in Pennsylvania waterway. And now officials are issuing warning to pet owners. So I tend to avoid stories like this because I think often a lot of them are related to like global warming, and it's not irrelevant. It's a huge issue. So like, this is apolitical, and also I don't want to like burden us with talking about global warming every week. But look at this fucking goldfish.
Wow.
That's a big
It's
fish.
fucking massive, dude.
Yeah. Jesus.
So this says releasing a goldfish into the wild can create an invasive problem that can last decades, the U.S. Fish and Wild Service said. A bigger than usual discovery in Pennsylvania has prompted officials to warn what happens when, quote, cute turns to, quote, brute, as they are reminding the public that leaving a pet goldfish in the wild can create an invasive problem that can last decades. Did you guys know this, by the way?
I knew that when not in little tanks, goldfish tend to grow larger, or if not larger in size, then at least longer tails and stuff.
Right.
But I didn't
That's
know
what
that
I had always
it
heard
was
too.
Like, yeah, I didn't know it was an invasive. Actually, that happened once because I used to work with this guy who had a koi pond, and like a raccoon got all his koi, and he was really bummed. And we worked at this hotel together, and the whole gimmick of the hotel is like, we'll bring a goldfish to your room so that when you're away from home missing your pets, you can have a pet to take care of.
Oh, wow.
And so when I found out about his fish, I went downstairs and got a couple of goldfish for him to take home. And so in his koi pond, they got to be like,
massive,
pretty big,
beefy,
or at least their tails grew longer and they got a little bit bigger.
I feel like I heard about the goldfish, like it can grow big as its tank is needed.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know that like they became an invasive species and like fucked over the local
I didn't know that
wildlife
either.
in it.
Yeah.
Like I assume that they'd be pussies because look at them.
Well, it's interesting that, I mean, do they take up natural resources? I don't think that they're like predatory, are they?
Well, I'll continue this story. On Tuesday, February 25th, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the USFWS, I wonder if they got defunded, revealed on Facebook,
what members were left anyway, right?
revealed on Facebook that experts spotted and recovered what they are calling a megalodon goldfish during a recent electrofishing survey of the Presque Isle State waterway. Now the agency is using the discovery to remind public exactly what why the aquatic creature isn't supposed to be here. Someone released it thinking they were being kind. Instead, they created an invasive problem that can last decades, the US FWS wrote in a caption. Goldfish grow massive in the wild, where they can turn lakes and waterways into murky messes, steal food from native fish, and wreck water quality, the agency added. If you keep your fish, rehome it. Don't let it loose. After posting a photo of USFWS employee Corey Ketchum holding the fish, which appears to be significantly larger than a standard at-home goldfish, the agency added the hashtag Invasive Species Week. Another image of the comment section shared by the USFWS showed another agency official holding the fish with two hands. From cute to brute, the agency captioned the snap. That's such a big fucking fish, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder how it tastes.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, how good is it, dude? Does it not taste good? Why aren't we just like breeding these giant fish to eat them? I imagine it'd be good. Elsewhere.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody eating goldfish before, so I don't know if that's a thing.
Just the
Elsewhere, the post comments, the USFWS shared some insight into how to break up with your goldfish before amplifying a concern from a commenter about the goldfish used as bait. It's illegal in 16 states to use goldfish as bait. All the states create their own fishing regulations, so it's up to each state on what they allow for bait fish, the USFWS clarified. We always encourage anglers to never dump their bait after they're done fishing. Bait dumping is one of the many ways invasive aquatic species and pathogens are introduced to waterways. The average lifespan of a goldfish in the wild is 41 years, according to the National Geographic, which reports
Wow.
5 pounds
Jesus.
in the wild. As previously reported in late 2023, goldfish have become an issue in the Great Lakes specifically, with an expert noting that at the time that millions were swimming around. According to the USFWS website, wild goldfish can balloon into giant football-sized invaders that compete with native species for food and habitat. Specifically, the species can make water murky, stir up sediment, and uproot plants since they are bottom feeders, making it harder for native fish and plants to survive in the environment. Dude, they're just little dumbasses, dude. Fuck those
Yeah.
fish.
God, I got human beings. We just like take shit from over here and just put it over there without any.
Yeah. Dude, I wonder where they're native to. Like, what is their home? You know?
Yeah, I'll look it up in a second. Aside from the quick growth and disruption of water quality, goldfish spawn several times a season and have no natural predators, meaning they multiply quickly and stick around for a while, per the USFWS. They can also carry parasites and diseases for which other fish lack immunity. Goldfish owners looking to part ways with their pets, are encouraged to rehome them, return them to a pet store, or contact local aquariums or rescue groups. Releasing a pet into the wild is never the right thing. Most pets released to the wild do not survive, and many suffer before they die, the USFWS shared on its website. If it does survive, your pet could become an invasive species that harms native wildlife. My thing about it too is like you hear all these stories about like kids that don't take care of their goldfish and like they die, and so you have to like flush it down the toilet or whatever.
Mhm.
It seems like these fish can like live really easily. What the fuck? How are these kids killing
Yeah.
all these fish?
You just don't feed it, you know. They have to eat.
Yeah.
It looks. I'm seeing that they're native to China, Korea, and Eurasia, and then that's one thing that says. But then there's like maps of where they're. There's a Reddit map of where they're invasive, and it's like the entire country except for Alaska. But then there are areas where they're reproducing in like eastern Washington, northern Idaho, western Montana, western
Brett.
New
I didn't know that,
Mexico, eastern California. Yeah, it's crazy. They're like in Lake Michigan. It's like the whole lake is red on this map, and that's like the reproducing color. So yeah,
You're taking over, dude. Some old bullshit. This is the red scare that we should have been worried about. The invasion
Gold
of the
scare.
Chinese goldfish, dude. It's crazy as hell.
You need to get more alligators in there, you know.
Yeah, I feel like the other fish are stupid for not like fighting back. Like squabble up, bro.
Exactly. What are these alligators and crocodiles doing? These caiman and
Are you really gonna let a goldfish come into your fucking water and like run your shit, dude? I wouldn't let that happen to me. If I was a fish.
Never. Not in my fucking neighborhood.
Well,
you're a NIMBY about goldfish.
what that's it for the news. Irrelevant news. What do you guys got coming up? Like, you guys got any big plans this weekend? Chat, you guys got plans this weekend?
I do.
Well, we got,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Oh my! Of course, now I yawn. My nephew's gonna be visiting from like the coast where he lives at, so he asked me to teach him how to box. So
oh shit,
yeah, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him on Saturday, and then there's also a toy show here on Saturday, so I'm gonna hit that up. It's like a
are you going to display, or are you just going to see what
I'm just gonna go see what's
is?
popping. Yeah. I went last time. I didn't really walk away with much at all, but it's fun to look, and some of my friends are going to be there. It's my friend's birthday. He'll be there, so I was figure I'll go
That's
through,
sick.
and then yeah. So that's what I
about
got
you,
going.
Tony?
Got nothing special planned. Gonna watch Lakers Celtics tomorrow and
Is AEW Revolution tomorrow?
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday?
Yeah.
Sick.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking my place would be go to my sister's place. I need to see if my nephew wants to watch that game. I think he will. I just don't know if he'll be home. But that Mickey 17 movie just came out. So
yeah, I want to see that.
I'm thinking the play is going to be go to my sister's house, walk to the theater, which is next to her house, then go watch the game with my nephew. Because the game's at 5:30, so I can have like any time in the beginning before that, I can go watch the movie, which would be sick.
I've been listening to the book that's
good?
based on. It's all right. I think the movie would be, you know, in the hands of that director. I think it will have something to say.
Yeah.
The book so far does not.
My other nephew loves that book, and he's like it's his favorite book, which I was like kind of surprised by because I'd never heard of it. But he says he loves it, and so I like the Parasite director. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And you know Pattinson's cool, so I figure I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book, like, you know, the premise is like this guy is on this colony for, you know, like an outpost for people on like another planet, like trying to establish human civilization, and he's what's called an expendable. So like they have him like scanned and uploaded so that when he dies doing some kind of mission for the colony, they just reboot him in a new version, right? And then he just keeps on being like the expendable. So they send him down into like a crevasse that they don't know what's down there, you know. And if he doesn't report back, oh well, we got another one, right? But I feel like there's a lot to be said about sort of, you know, like capitalism and like labor practices and how what we value for human lives. And so far, I'm probably at least a third of the way through the book, and there's really nothing in it about that. So it's just kind of like stuff happening, and it's yet to really grab me. But I think in that director's hands, the guy who made Parasite, like I think it'll probably, you know, he also made Oakjaw, which is like about like meat farming and stuff, right? So I think he'll probably do it some justice.
That movie was a tearjerker.
I can't watch it.
I'm going into this one pretty like not knowing what it's about. So like,
yeah,
I think that's the way to do it. But then Monday, I'm going to see the Warriors for the first time.
Hell yeah!
So I'm pretty hyped on
wow,
that.
I thought you had already seen them play, but was it a Kings game or something you went to?
I went to see the Kings and the Miami Heat, which was sick.
Okay.
My brother got tickets for that, but my buddy Mark, who I did like a thing for, commission for, he has like tickets for season tickets for I think the for the Niners and I think the Warriors too. So he had offered them up because he can't make the game, and sometimes he just like breaks me off. I'm like, dude, this is sick. You know what I mean? What a great friend. So
that's awesome.
So I'm gonna go with my Tia Christina, who's like a big Warriors fan. She always like messaged me about the game and stuff. And I don't think she's never been to see Steph, but I think she used to go to like Sacramento games when she lived in Sacramento. But we're both really excited to see the Warriors in general. So we're riding up. You know what the hassle was for me too was I wanted to take the BART up, like the public transportation, because I hate driving in the city. It just like gives me anxiety, and there's all these like auto driving cars out there. Like there's just too much going on in San Francisco. So I was going to take the train up, but since I'm going with her and she doesn't care about driving in the city, she's going to drive. And then we just got a parking spot. There's like a site. I don't know if it's for like most cities or just like San Francisco, because it's like, you know, San Francisco. There's a website where you can like book a parking spot like a month in advance or whatever. So like we just did that. Like, so we have a parking spot when we get there. We don't have to worry about any of that. That was like our big, you know, like, fuck, it's going to be like so annoying to like find parking or whatever, but it was actually not too bad. So pretty excited.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Warriors had a good win today. They've been on a tear since they got Jimmy Butler.
Is that game's not like the second night of a back-to-back or anything, right? So you're no one's going to be resting or.
No one. Well, someone might be resting, but it's not the second night of it back to back. The Nets and the Blazers have both been teams that were like shitty, but they've been kind of frisky lately. So I think the Warriors are gonna have to like actually play to win that game. I don't think it's gonna be like an easy one for them at all.
Yeah, man. Joe Cronin knew what he was doing, you know.
Steph hit the night today, by the way.
Nice.
Sick. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. You know, it's one of those things where like it's like a big thing that I'm gonna do. That it was like once I had said that once I took the tickets from my friend, I was like, okay, so like March 10th is this day. Everything going up to that, it's like I just got to get stuff done before March 10th, and then after that, it's just going to be like open again, which kind of feels weird because I've now in my head built so much to like that March 10th date. I don't know if you guys do that kind of thing too. Yeah. I used to do it with cons constantly, where it's like, oh, that con's like the second week of...
Like I have a dentist appointment next week, and I'm like, everything is riding on this.
Yeah.
When I'm done, I can finally just not have any commitments for like a week or whatever, you know.
Yeah. But I'm excited.
Yeah. It's good, man. Should be fun.
Excited to hang out with my tia. I'm gonna talk to her about our girl Claudia, this big W she took. Hold up, I got something.
Boom shakalaka.
Fucking Claudia, dude, what a legend. Well, you guys want to start promoting stuff? You guys got anything to promote?
I found out today that I'm going to be a guest at Free Comic Book Day in May.
Oh shit!
At Muse Comics in Missoula, so
nice.
Sick.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
When is it?
Does it up? It's like the first Saturday in May.
Right? Oh, May. Okay.
So like it'll be here in like a month or month and a half.
I've got no plans for Free Comic Book Day. I haven't in years.
Yeah, Jason and Muse does a cool little setup. Brings out a bunch of people. It's a good time.
I got my first, like, I was approached by actually like one of the premier action figure companies.
Oh shit!
In the world, called InArt, and they emailed me asking if I'd want to take a look at a sample of a Christian Bale Batman figure that they're putting out this year.
What?
Yeah, and for like my honest feedback, and like they said I could make a video of it for my channel.
That's hella tight, dude.
Yeah, I'm really excited because like this is a figure that like I already have a couple of Christian Bale Batman figures, you know, that are like as good as they get. So I was like, I don't need another one. I'll probably have to pass, even though I really want it.
Yeah.
But they're gonna send me one, so I'm like, that's tight, and I can't wait till. I mean, it's like it's a thing of beauty. It really is incredible. So, thank you. So, yeah, I'm excited to hopefully establish a relationship with that company and see what's what with what they got coming out.
That's exciting.
That's Salt awesome. Says congrats, Ibrahim.
Thank you. So yeah, check out my YouTube channel. That's where that'll be, and if you subscribe, you'll see it when it comes up. It's just under my name. Yeah, felt good to get like recognized by like a company, for what I've been doing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they probably watched your videos to make sure you were somebody that they wanted to ride with.
Yeah, so I think
it's pretty cool.
I think actually there are a few companies who watch my stuff and have sort of alluded to it in like the stuff they put. Like there's one company that put out this. Remember how I fixed that McFarlane Batmobile for the '89 Batmobile? Like,
yeah,
there was a company who put out an accessory set that was basically like, here's how you can fix it by getting this. It was like a $30 set, and it came with a canopy and like the machine guns. And after watching my video, they added the gas caps because they saw that I did that, and they were like, "Oh, this thing needs a gas cap." And the dude told me like, "Hey, I watched your video." So, yeah, it's cool to get like something for that, I guess, in a way, like a chance to share my opinion on a figure that I'm like anticipating a lot. Yeah. So, I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's good for the channel too.
And get it.
Yeah, give me. Yeah, it should be cool. Hopefully this will be the first of many. And then, you know, if there's stuff that I don't collect that companies send me, like I can do raffles or giveaways, you know, so it'll be cool.
It's gonna be crazy 5 years from now. You're just gonna be a toy guy.
Toy guy.
Photograph. Yeah. I'm trying to be
So
the next Todd McFarlane, bro.
I have a book coming out on. This says Wednesday, February 26th, but surely that cannot be right. But Pop Cult HQ has it. I don't actually know the release date of this, but I did this. I did the 4th issue of a book called Exit City. It's my first. I feel like I haven't put out any like sequential stuff in a while, but this one is interesting because it's written by Mark London, who I believe owns this company, Mad Cave. You know, and it's interesting because they had hired me to do this cover, and you know this guy Carl Mostert, he had done the first 5 pages of it, and then he like tragically passed away young. I don't really know how, you know, but they reached out and asked if I would fill in the rest of the issue for him using his layouts. So I did, but you know, on this you could see his work and why they asked me. I mean, we have a similar style.
Yeah, that's a nice,
you know, it was
little
an
feature
interesting
table page turn.
Yeah, it was nice. None of that's my art, but it was. I really respected that they like went for an artist that had a similar style as the guy, and that you know they wanted to make sure that I was like following what he intended for it. You know, so
Yeah.
like it was kind of an interesting experience because I was drawing it going like, well, that's not really how I would do it, but it doesn't really matter how I would do it because he already did his layouts. So then, you know, I was just working off of it. But yeah, colored by my buddy David Barron, and yeah, R.I.P. Carl Mostert is the artist
Big
who had passed.
RIP.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is I had some work coming out apparently a couple weeks ago. I guess I don't know when it actually comes out, but
You know, well, with Diamond, right? Who knows when anything arrives anywhere?
I have no clue. But if you see this book, Exit City, with this cover, I drew the inside, the last 15 pages of it, and it was fun. But yeah, it was an interesting. It was definitely an interesting like project though. I've never done that before. Like working off somebody else's layouts, really like that. Especially like some of them were just like loose thumbnails. They weren't like, you know, like the
I did that
last
one.
page was just like 3 panels, and it was just like panel, need reference, and that was it. So I was like, well, I guess I'll try to intuit what he would have wanted based on the other 14 pages that I drew. But you know, it's an interesting storytelling. Oh, Alberto Rayo says it came out yesterday. Thank you. I appreciate that. Whatever day it came out, that's when it was out.
I worked over somebody's layouts once for the Lucha Underground comic, like
Oh
the
yeah.
first like, yeah, I was like a last second replacement, and he had like layouts for like the first 6 or 7 pages, and so I followed those, and then I just for the last like 15, I did my own thing. But yeah, it was interesting. It was fun.
Nice. Well, on that note, I think we could start wrapping it up. Where can they find you guys?
At Tony Gregori on Blue Sky and Instagram, and yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, same for me on Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, all under my name. And everything's a little bit different. Like Instagram, I generally post figure stuff and some art. Blue Sky is more like some art and then my thoughts, and then YouTube is all about the stuff I make and figures I review and all that. So a little bit of, you know, something different on each one.
Yeah, and you can follow me, Ramon Villalobos, the Ramon Villalobos, whatever. But also, El Camino Art, our like art collective group. We just had to renew our thing, so we do want to get like more newsletters out. I should have asked you about this before. Is it the same way to like sign up for the newsletter, Ibrahim? Still just
Yes. If you just go
Okay.
to our elcaminoart.com and click subscribe, click subscribe.
Yeah. Hold
Yeah,
on,
you
let me get
can.
this out.
We send out a fairly regularly monthly newsletter about con appearances, store appearances, you know, what we got coming out, what we got going on. It's us
All that.
three, Justin Greenwood and Brian Level.
Yep.
Thank you for watching my video. If you really like it, then you should subscribe.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for joining us, everyone in chat, everyone who's watching after the video is done. Talk to you guys next week. Later.
Hi, everybody.
Later.
End stream.